100 neurotransmitters in only 50 states. A quick and easy way to remember the different types of neurotransmitters that we all have, which is the topic of discussion today as we continue the biological basis of behavior. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a neurotransmitter is, it plays an important role in a wide variety of both physical and psychological functions. So we'll discuss the definition of a neurotransmitter, what is it, the mode of operation, how it works, and provide a couple of examples. So let's go ahead and break it down like a fraction and put it back together, beginning with the definition. Now, a neurotransmitter is a chemical messenger that transmits a message. And you may be more familiar with what a chemical messenger is in your body than you may think. A hormone is a chemical messenger, a pheromone is a chemical messenger. And so a neurotransmitter is a chemical messenger. And what happens is a neurotransmitter is released from one neuron to another, much like a text message is sent from one phone to another. The presynaptic neuron is like the one text sending the text, and the postsynaptic neuron is the phone receiving the text. Now, the purpose of these neurotransmitters are for excitatory and or inhibitory effects. Now, excitatory neurotransmitters have this effect and are more likely that the neuron will fire an action potential. And inhibitory neurotransmitters have inhibitory effects on the neuron. That means that they decrease the likelihood that a neuron will fire and take action in that way. So the mode of operations, again, you have the presynaptic neuron, which has the axon terminal, which is the descending hoof-looking structure at the top. And they include synaptic vessels, which you can see are the circle vessels in this structure, and the red dots in those circles, those vesicles, are the neurotransmitters. When they get to the edge, they fuse out and cross over to the synaptic cleft, which is the space area, the white area, the space between the axon terminal, which is the sending neuron, and the dendrites receptors, which is the receiving neuron. And this postsynaptic neuron, which is the target cell, you can see, is where the neurotransmitters interact with the receptors, which are the blue structures on the image to the right. And the neurotransmitters fit into a receptor site with a lock and key type of setup. And that's when things are either excited and are inhibited. So let's give you some examples. If you can see to the right, this is Dr. Carl L. Hart, and he is a Black American psychologist and a neuroscientist and professor of psychology at Columbia University. And he does a lot of research in drug abuse and drug addiction. And he has a pretty thought-provoking interview on The Breakfast Club where he discusses the use of drugs and its impact on the brains and neurotransmitters and all that good stuff. And so go check that out and when you have the time. But just know that neurotransmitters are classified. And so he studies these things. They're classified by size. So there's amines and amino acids, which are more of the smaller ones. And then there are neuropeptides, which are larger ones. Some examples that you may be familiar with is dopamine. And this is an amine neurotransmitter that plays a role in coordinating movement, attention and learning, and reinforcing behaviors. One source says that this is known as the reward chemical, and it's associated with pleasure of many kinds. Too little can lead to depression, and too much can lead to addiction. Serotonin is another one. It is an amine neurotransmitter that plays a role in regulating mood and aggression and appetite, arousal, pain perception, and respiration. And is associated with general peacefulness, serenity, and hopefulness. Low levels can lead to depression as well. Last but not least is the endorphin. This is a peptide hormone that acts on a neurotransmitter that may be associated with feelings of pain and or pleasure. These are the body's painkillers. And at high levels, you will get relaxed and euphoric, and at low levels, you may be more sensitive to pain. There's other types of neurotransmitters as well, such as oxytocin or adrenaline or glutamate, which you may have heard of as well. So let's go ahead and summarize up what we've been learning. So by definition, neurotransmitters are chemical messengers released by neurons for the purpose of excitatory and or inhibitory effects. The mode of operation is that the neurotransmitters are released from the presynaptic neuron. Once again, the one sending the text message through the axon terminal, and it moves across the synaptic cleft and connects to the receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, which is the individual receiving the text. And there's a number of examples of different neurotransmitters. They're classified by size, and you may have heard of dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, glutamate, and they all have their own effect. So here goes the resources, EPPP, Steps and Fundamentals, as well as Neuropsychology for Humans. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me at Skeleton_Neuro, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Skeleton Report and check out Udemy, where I have e-courses on depression, as well as making it happen and goal setting. That's all I got for now. I'll check you out on the next go around. Peace.